Good evening, Year 11 parents and students. It's a good opportunity for me at this time to advertise and market for our sixth form. And my first question, as you can see here, is why choose St Bonaventure's sixth form? Obviously, I've got many reasons that I could explain to you why that is the case. I do believe it is the best place for our boys, and hopefully these slides will communicate exactly why. This is a very important decision as to where your son chooses his sixth form education, chooses to take on his level 3 courses, and it may be that it's a combination of level 2 and level 3 courses. So the question that I want you to ask yourself at this time is, where does your son stand the best chance of success? Lots and lots of students now have lots and lots of choices. There are lots of sixth forms, both in the borough and out of the borough. And we still have many of our boys from year 11 who come back to us and are very successful. So for me, it is a complex decision, one which is multifaceted, but mainly it's about where you think they will honestly flourish, where they will do best. And I think in most cases, the scenario that we have here, the situation of the fact that it's consistent, the teachers, the environment, in a time when everything is changing, keeping that consistency and that balance is very important at this time. So many students do make really good decisions, but some students, it's very difficult, and they don't entirely know what they want. So it's really good to have those conversations now with your sons in year 11 while they're considering their future, and to really kind of do an analysis of what they think would be good about a sixth form, not so good about a sixth form. And as I've said, I believe that there are so many pluses for your son to stay at St Bon's. So things you probably know already are the Catholic ethos. It's a really important reason to stay. We have got a culture of support, and in the environment of sixth forms at the moment within this borough, sometimes the environments in them are very competitive. They're very elitist. And yes, of course, we have hugely successful students, but we support every single one. And I want to emphasize that point, that we support every student, no matter what grade they achieve, no matter what course they want to progress to, whether it's Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, or whether it's UEL, or whether it's to an apprenticeship or to an employment pathway. We're proud of every single one of our students, and we hope that we can support every single one to the pathway that they want to pursue. We've built relationships that matter. So we've built relationships with your son. There will be 5 years of relationships, and yes, many of the teachers in sixth form are different, but those relationships, they do matter. The consistency of leadership within the school, the consistency of the environment, the consistency of friends, peer groups, that's all very important. But we've also got fantastic relationships outside of the sixth form as well, in terms of universities, employment pathways, schemes, apprenticeships. We've got long-standing relationships, and we continue to build them because we have been doing this for a very long time now. That we haven't got the shiniest new buildings in the world, and yes, if you are going to virtual open evenings, or of other sixth forms which have had lots and lots of investment in their buildings, we obviously can't compete with that. But my last bullet point there is so true. We've got some amazing teachers here, and students that come back to St Bon's from other places, they always say that, and they say that the teaching is absolutely brilliant here, and it's a huge strength of St Bonaventure's. Some things you may not know. Our results are definitely better than you think. Lots and lots of other sixth forms go for the headline figures and how many students get Oxbridge offers and everything else. Well, we got students into Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, King's, you name it. We got them into all the top universities this year. Students were getting lots and lots of A-star grades. And the Bonds boys do very well in our sixth form. Again, that consistency, they don't have to adjust to a new environment. They know where the data office is. They know where the school nurse is. They know where to find their teachers. And so that transition period that our new learners have, our Bonds boys don't have to go through that. So they get a really good start at the beginning of year 12 because they just don't have to adjust to lots of new systems and a new environment. We've been incredibly popular as well. And, one thing I do want to make clear is that I had over 1,500 applications for 150 places this year. So, we are very, very popular. On results day, we've run an online system for our 2-year learners, our new students. But for the Bonds boys, we do have them in on results day. We do take our time to speak to them, advise them, guide them, make sure that they're on the right courses, make sure they're going off to the right provisions. And ultimately, we try our best to make sure that we can cater for them. So if on results day, your son is thinking, it might be a choice between us and somewhere else, I would urge them to come to us first, secure the place with us. Because I'm pretty much guaranteed that I will fill up by the end of the day, and some of my courses won't be available. So Bonds boys get the first dibs, if you like, on those places, and it's really important that if they are seriously considering us, that they get that place in the morning. Sixth form will feel very different. It is a bit of a separate entity. They have their own area to study. We've got our own end of the school, if you like. We've got our own entrance in and out. And so it does feel different, and it feels like Bonds, but it feels like sixth form as well. So it's not just another 2 years of what you've had for 5 years. It is the same, but different, if that makes sense. Our sixth form team are hugely experienced. I've worked with now, people in head of year 12, Mr. Wade, head of year 13, Miss Corrie at head of year 12, Mr. Bastian's in the team, Miss Rahman's in the team. The careers provision is absolutely first class. So we feel that we are really geared up well to support our students, as I've said already, no matter what their pathway is. We support for medicine, we support for the high achievers, but we support everybody else too, whether it's for arts, media, design-based pathways, whether it's PPE pathways, English, mathematics, STEM, you name it. We're able to support our students in all of those progression pathways. Our sixth form teachers, I've mentioned already, the quality of teaching, I really cannot overstate how good it is in our sixth form. We do teach brilliantly. The standards in the classes and in the lessons are absolutely fantastic. Final thing to think about is we do run 2 types of courses. So we run an A-level suite. We run most of the popular A-levels, and we run 2 BTEC courses. We run a BTEC in business and we run a BTEC in sport. And I feel like I still have to say this every year, but BTECs are, they get a bad press. They get, there's a bit of a reputation, a stigma attached to them. And that historically is justified. The old BTECs were 100% coursework, and students could get a lot of support to achieve the higher grades. And so it would be all about that kind of teacher-student relationship. Now the BTECs have been reformed. There are examinations, really tough examinations, and universities have said that they treat BTEC qualifications with exactly the same standing as A-levels. So you get the same UCAS points for a distinction in a BTEC as you do for an A grade in an A-level. So in many respects, we have those courses because we know that we can support students to some fantastic grades and some fantastic pathways on those. So please don't think that, the BTEC is a lesser course. We've got about 45, 50 places every year for students on that. And it's worth doing your research into those courses because they are fantastic pathways. Students access Russell Group universities with those courses without any problems whatsoever. We do run lots of sessions and events. Obviously, COVID has kind of, scuppered much of what we do, but we will be running sessions throughout the year to try and get the Year 11 boys aware of the sorts of decisions that they should be making. I will be, going into Year 11 classes and into form and doing presentations for them. So obviously those will be shared with parents as well to help you make those decisions with your son. So it's important that they can kind of get to know the sixth form team and engage with us and ease that transition once again. I like to finish with this quote because right now the boys are, back in school and they're doing very, very well, and they're really happy to be with their friends, with their teachers, and in the school environment. But they are often more worried about what their friends are doing than maybe what their future is. So this quote kind of sums up perfectly where I would like them to be in terms of considering their sixth form options. And it is really to think about the future, look forward, and to evaluate whether they believe that St. Bond's sixth form is the right sixth form for them. I definitely do. And if you do have any further questions or you want to contact me or my team, then please just email sixthform@stbonds.org. Thank you.